One missed renewal could leave you pulled over, license invalid, and unable to drive your parent to a doctor visit. So if you or someone you love is over 70, pay close attention now. Everything in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not legal advice. A lot has shifted for older drivers nationwide, and most people still do not know what is real. Some are reacting to Facebook rumors, others have heard nothing at all, and both reactions can cause problems. Stay with me for a minute, because I'm going to break down what is happening, what is accurate, what is not, what you need to do, and how to protect yourself and the people you care about before your next trip. To understand it, you have to start at the beginning, because this issue has several layers. For decades, driving was something most Americans barely thought about.
You earned a license as a teenager, renewed it every few years, maybe glanced at an eye chart, and then you were finished. Easy. For younger drivers, that still mostly holds true. What many people miss, and this part matters, is that rules for older drivers have never been the same from state to state. And in 2026, those differences are becoming far more visible, and in some places, they are being updated right now. That is why renewal notices can surprise families who assume every DMV works the same way across the country. Before we get into the details, I need to clear up something directly, because you may already have seen alarming posts about this subject. Maybe you saw a video on Facebook or YouTube claiming the federal government now requires every driver over 70 to take yearly road tests, or that federal transportation officials are canceling licenses because of age, or that a sweeping new national rule will take away senior driving rights. Take a breath, because that is not what happened. There is no single federal law aimed at older drivers in 2026. There never has been. Those reports were false. Some were created by AI-based clickbait sites with names made to look like legitimate news outlets, and they spread rapidly on social media in 2025. Fact-checkers verified that. Snopes reviewed the claims and traced them back to fake websites. So if you reposted one, don't be embarrassed. Many people did. But now you know the actual story, and the real story is more nuanced and, in some ways, more important than the fake one for families trying to stay informed and prepared at home. Here is what is actually unfolding. The United States does not use one national driver's license system. Each state sets its own rules. So if you live in Texas, your renewal process is different from someone in California. And if you live in Illinois, the rules change in a much bigger way. I'll come back to that in a moment. What is happening in 2026 is a wave of state-level updates that specifically affect older drivers. Some are brand new, others have been rolling out quietly for the last year or two. Depending on where you live, they could affect you soon. Let me walk through the general pattern first, and then I will point to specific states so you know what to watch for, because a renewal rule that seems small can still create real problems later if nobody notices it in time for older families everywhere today. The biggest change showing up in several states is this. Older drivers, usually those 70 and above, are being asked more often to renew in person instead of online or by mail. I know that sounds small, but stay with me, because it matters. When you renew in person, the DMV can do things a website cannot. They can check your vision immediately. They can observe how you handle the process. And in some cases, they can send you for more review if something looks unusual. That in-person step is not a penalty, it is a health check. Think of it as a wellness visit for your driving status. And honestly, if you are driving safely, there is nothing to be afraid of at all. Vision testing is one of the most common changes being phased in during 2026, and it affects more states than many people realize. A lot of people forget that vision changes naturally with age. Peripheral vision, depth perception, and clear night vision all tend to fade little by little. Most of us do not even notice it happening. We adapt without realizing it. We slow down after dark. We leave more room between vehicles. We avoid certain highways. Those are normal adjustments. The problem is that vision can decline far enough to create a real safety risk, while the driver still thinks everything is fine because the change is so gradual. That is why states are tightening renewal vision requirements in person, and they are doing it to catch problems before they become dangerous for everyone on the road, later in traffic, safely for seniors too. In California, drivers 70 and older must now renew in person and pass a vision test every time. Online renewal is not allowed, and mail-in renewal is not allowed either. You have to appear. In Florida, drivers 80 and older must pass a vision test before they renew. In Texas, drivers 79 and older must come in person. In Illinois, drivers 79 and older have been required to renew in person and pass a vision test. The minimum standard in most states is 20/40 vision in at least one eye, with or without glasses or contacts. If you use corrective lenses, that is fine. The test is only checking whether your vision is good enough for safe driving for the road ahead today safely. Here is the part that often gets lost under the scary headlines. If you go in for renewal, take the vision test, and do not quite pass the initial screening, that does not automatically mean your license is gone. In most states, they hand you a form. You take it to an eye doctor or optometrist. You get a proper professional exam. The doctor sends the results to the DMV. If you meet the required standard with glasses or another correction, you move on. This is not a one-strike, you are out system. It is a process meant to get you the support you might need, not to remove you from the road when health changes for drivers later on. Illinois deserves a closer look because what just happened there is a major development, even though many people missed it. While fake headlines were shouting about federal crackdowns, Illinois made a change that is one of the most senior-friendly driving reforms in modern American history. For many, many years, Illinois was the only state in the country that required older drivers to take a full behind-the-wheel road test simply because of age. If you were 79 and your Illinois license came up for renewal, you had to sit in a car with an examiner and prove you could drive. That was incredibly stressful. People who had driven for 50 or 60 years with clean records were suddenly sitting beside a tester and feeling like teenagers again. A lot of them felt embarrassed. And for many seniors with anxiety or health conditions, that test created a serious emotional burden. Now that burden is being reduced for the vast majority of older drivers in the state starting next summer, for most families at last, too. That has now changed. An Illinois governor signed the Road Safety and Fairness Act, House Bill 12P6, and it takes effect on July 1, 2026. Under this new law, the mandatory behind-the-wheel road test threshold in Illinois rises from 79 all the way to 87. That means if you are between 79 and 86 and you are renewing an Illinois license, you no longer face an automatic road test. You will still need to renew in person, and you will still take a vision test. If your driving record has violations, a written knowledge test may still be required. But that intimidating behind-the-wheel exam is gone unless you are 87 or older, or you have been specifically flagged for a safety concern. That is a major win for millions of senior drivers in Illinois going forward statewide at last, too. Now step back for a minute and talk about something that affects every driver in America, no matter their age. A lot of people still have not handled this, which honestly surprises me. It is the Real ID. You may have heard that term before. The Real ID Act is a federal security standard that became fully active on May 7, 2025. In practical terms, it means that if you want to board a domestic flight inside the United States or enter a federal building or facility, your state-issued driver's license needs a Real ID marker, usually a small gold or black star in the upper corner. If your license does not have that star, you cannot use it for airport screening. You would need a passport instead before you get on a plane or into federal space without delay at all soon. Most states have already been issuing Real ID compliant licenses for years, And if you renewed recently, there is a good chance you already have one without noticing. Look at your license right now. Find the star in the upper corner. If it is there, you are set. If it is missing, your license is not Real ID compliant, and you need to visit your DMV for an upgrade before your next flight. To get one, you will need to bring several documents to the DMV in person. You will usually need proof of your full legal name, such as a birth certificate or a U.S. passport. You will need your social security number, and you will need proof of your current address, like a utility bill or a bank statement. That is the process. It is a one-time step. Once you have a Real ID compliant license, you are covered for the life of that license period right now. I want to pause here because this part is personal and it does not get discussed enough. For many older Americans, a driver's license is not just plastic. It is independence. It is the ability to drive to a doctor's appointment without asking your child to miss work. It is getting to the grocery store on your own schedule. It is meeting friends for lunch. It is going to church on Sunday morning. Losing a license, or even worrying that you might lose it, can feel like losing a central piece of who you are. That feeling is completely valid. It is real, and any policy change in this area has to be handled with dignity and respect for that reality. Policymakers have actually said as much, and loved ones feel it as soon as those letters begin arriving in the mailbox each time. A spokesperson for the Department of Transportation put it plainly. The goal is not to punish age. The goal is to reward ability. As long as you can pass the vision test, and as long as you can show that you are safe behind the wheel, your license is yours. These changes are not meant to take keys away from people who are driving safely. They are meant to catch situations where someone's driving ability has declined in a way that they or their family may not have noticed yet. And something else may surprise you. Many seniors who have gone through the updated renewal process, including vision tests and even road tests in states that still require them, have come away feeling better afterward, not worse. One woman, Mary Thompson, 82, from Ohio, said she expected the experience to feel humiliating, but afterward, she said it felt good knowing she was still fit to drive. Her children worry less now. That kind of peace of mind is genuinely valuable for her and for her family. It helps her neighbors trust the roads a little more. So what should you do now? I will lay it out in plain English. First, find out when your license expires. Many seniors do not know the exact date from memory, and by the time the renewal notice arrives in the mail, there may not be much time left to prepare. Check your wallet right now. Read the expiration date on your license. Second, find out what your state requires for your age group. Go straight to your state's DMV website, not Facebook, not a third-party article, but the official site. Look up the renewal rules for drivers your age. Find out whether you need to renew in person. Find out whether a vision test is required. Find out how long your renewal cycle lasts. That information is public, free, and it is the only source you should trust. Check the date again before any trip this week if possible too. Third, if a vision test is required, see your eye doctor before your renewal date. Do not wait until you are standing at the DMV counter. Make an appointment with your optometrist or ophthalmologist at least a month or two before your license expires. Update your prescription if needed. Make sure you have the right glasses or contacts. And if your doctor can give you documentation of your vision results, bring it with you. In some states, you can submit that paperwork electronically before you visit. Fourth, if your state recommends or requires refresher courses, use them. AP offers a smart driver course that is available in most states, and there is a practical bonus. Completing that course can also earn you a discount on car insurance. Some insurers offer as much as a 5% discount for seniors who finish an approved defensive driving program. That discount usually lasts for 3 years, so you refresh your skills and save money at the same time. That is a win for now. Now I need to talk about scams because whenever confusion surrounds a government process, scammers move fast. This area is no exception. Here is what to watch for. You may get a phone call, an email, or even a letter claiming to be from the DMV or the Department of Transportation, telling you that your license is about to be suspended or revoked because of new senior driving rules and that you need to call a number, click a link, or pay a fee to verify your status or finish your compliance. Do not fall for that. Your actual state DMV will not call you out of the blue and demand payment over the phone. They will not send a suspicious email with a link to click. Any legitimate renewal notice will arrive through official mail with your state's DMV letterhead, and it will point you to the official DMV website or a physical office. If you get a call like this, hang up. If you get an email, do not click any links. Go directly to your state's DMV website by typing the address yourself, or call the DMV's official number directly. These scams feed on the same anxiety that all of these news stories have already created. Please share this warning with the seniors in your life who may not know what to watch for when they see those messages on paper at home. Let's talk about what can happen if, for whatever reason, the driving chapter needs to begin winding down. Because for some people, and at some point, that conversation becomes real, and it does not have to turn into a crisis. Many communities now offer real alternatives for older adults who cut back or stop driving. Ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft have made major improvements to senior-friendly features, and both offer discounts and simpler interfaces for older users. Cities like Chicago and Denver have subsidized ride programs specifically for low-income senior residents. Many local nonprofits and faith-based groups run volunteer driver programs that take seniors to medical appointments, grocery stores, and social events, often for free or for very low cost. There is also a federal resource called the Elder Care Locator, which you can find at eldercare.acl.gov, and it connects older adults with local transportation services, including paratransit, volunteer driver programs, and more. The key is to start looking at these options before you need them, because if you wait until your license is gone, you are in crisis mode. But if you know what is available in your area ahead of time, the transition, if and when it comes, feels less like falling off a cliff and much more like stepping onto another path. Let me end with the bigger picture, because it helps to see this for what it is. What is happening in 2026 is not a war on senior drivers. It is a country adjusting to the reality that there are more older drivers on the road than at any other point in its history. Right now, nearly 48 million Americans over 65 hold valid driver's licenses. That number keeps rising every year, and every state is wrestling with the same question. How do we keep those drivers and everyone else on the road as safe as possible without stripping away independence and dignity from people who deserve both? The answer most states are choosing is more frequent check-ins, not punishment, not age-based bans. Check-ins, vision tests, in-person renewals, refresher courses, and restricted licenses for specific situations rather than full revocations. These are all tools meant to keep capable senior drivers on the road while identifying the smaller number of cases where someone's safety truly needs attention. And the fake news stories that scared so many people? Those were created by websites trying to earn clicks and ad revenue by exploiting the very real fear that comes with aging. Do not give them power. Go to official sources, talk to your actual DMV, see your actual eye doctor, take the actual refresher course if it is available. And if someone in your life is beginning to worry about their driving or a loved one's driving, have that conversation with love and respect, not fear. That approach protects dignity and keeps families calmer too. Overall today, your keys, your independence, and your life on the road are worth protecting. The best way to protect them is to stay informed, stay prepared, and not let panic take the wheel. If this video helped you or someone you care about, like, comment, and subscribe. Pass it along to a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, or a friend. This is exactly the kind of information that gets buried under fake headlines, and people need to hear the truth. Check your license expiration date today. Visit your state DMV website today. Book that eye appointment today if you need one. Do not wait until renewal day to find out something has changed. Stay informed. Stay prepared. Stay in the driver's seat for as long as possible.